more interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. Couple of games on Sunday. The first one of those was Huddersfield versus Wakefield. It was 18-10 to Wakefield at halftime. It had been 18-0. In the end, though, Huddersfield turned it around, 22-18. James Child was the referee. 3,964 were there to watch this one. Do you want to read out the stats on this one, Rob?
Okay, yeah, so the team stats, Huddersfield made 184 more metres, made it a better average game and creating more breaks. Wakefield were their own worst enemies with 5 more errors and 2 more penalties given up by them on their way to a narrow defeat. For the winners, Ollie Ashelbot, 183 metres, Jake Wardle, 1 try assist and 174 metres, Utley, get my teeth back in, Luke Yates, 46 tackles. Does that mean 0 mark tackles?
That's 0 missed tackles.
Oh, 0 missed tackles, my mistake. And 128 metres. Leroy Kudrow, 1 try assist and 124 metres. And for the losers, David Fangita, 40 tackles, including no missed tackles, 109 metres and 3 offloads. Tom Johnstone, 6 tackle bursts, 155 metres. Matty Ashurst, 47 tackles, including 11 marker tackles. Carl Wood, 41 tackles, including 11 marker tackles and no missed tackles. No fan reviews for this one.
No fan reviews from this one. No, Huddersfield and Wakefield fans don't give a shit. Is the takeaway?
I did watch the highlights of this one, and I can't say I blame Wakefield fans for not giving a shit, because that second try that they give away was just awful. He was, rather than getting pinned in his own in goal area, he just passed it to the Huddersfield player, didn't he? And just put it down.
It was remarkable. So they'd run out into a lead, helped partly by Ollie Russell getting a sin bin in early on for holding down, which I liked to see that, because we've seen so many times where just 6 agains have been given and they haven't
professional
really...
foul, weren't it? It was right on his line. It made a break, and I think it was the right decision.
Exactly, yeah. So they scored 2 quick tries. One of them, the Ryan Hampshire try, really good long range try. Max Jowett and Ryan Hampshire, between them, getting the opportunity, and Hampshire sliding in just in the corner, but very good try. But then it started to turn, didn't it? And I mean, in the senior household, Louis Senior will have gone home having a great day. Innes Senior will have been having an awful time. I don't even know if he'd have gone home. He must have stayed somewhere else. He can't have gone and seen his brother, because his brother skinned him for his own try, which was Huddersfield's first try. And then, like you say, it was closing stages of the half.
That first try, though, Mark, the pat on to the winger, it was an absolute mile forwards. I can't believe they missed it.
It looked flat to me.
Looked flat. Okay, well, we'll agree.
I haven't over scrutinised it. I don't. We see a lot of borderline stuff now, don't we, with the forward passes, and I don't know.
Yeah, but this wasn't a pass. It was a sort of a pat on. And
it was a bit volleyball-esque, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at the time, I don't suppose it really mattered, because it was 18-6. So, or 18-4.
Yeah, and then a good kick turned him around in his senior, and like you say, instead of trying to... He fumbled the ball twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Backwards. Yeah. And instead of just cutting his losses and knocking it out for a dropout, or even taking the tackle, he threw a ridiculous offload when he was in a tackle by 2 men, trying to get it to... I'm guessing Max Jowett. I'm guessing either Max Jowett or Ryan Hampshire it was. I think Max Jowett. And there was another defender just on him that was there to take the ball. Yeah, so Huddersfield were able to completely take advantage, score a try, go in on a high at 18-10, and they came out, and Jerry McGilvery got a couple of walk-in tries to finish things off.
It's just inconceivable, because I mean, this season I've seen a lot where players would just rather kick it dead than even try and run it out. So I don't know whether it was his hurt pride because he fumbled it twice, and it should have been quite an easy pick up and run out. But I mean, he's gone now, isn't he, Chester? But you can't coach that, can you?
No.
There's nothing you can say that would stop your player having a brain fart like that.
No, it's like there's certainly you can't pin it on, like, he won't have said you have to try and get it out in those situations. There's no way that that's come up as a thing they should do. The other thing that jumped out on the highlights for me on this one was Tom Johnson. I thought he was going to go in for one of his miraculous diving finishes, and Jerry McGilvery came from nowhere and just knocked the ball out of his hands in a great cover tackle.
He's playing well this season, isn't he, McGilvery, again?
Yeah, he's come into some sort of form, hasn't he? I mean, 2 tries in this one. He had 4 tries. What, the other week was it against Hull?
He scored against us
on the telly, and yeah, so he's coming back into good form. I think with the World Cup being postponed, it might be a year too far for him, but we'll see. Right, let's move on to the final game. This was a high-scoring, topsy-turvy affair in Leigh. I think we've bemoaned the idea that this was the TV game that had been picked out this week, given probably the lack of jeopardy with likelihood of no relegation anyway. But Championship Leigh run Super League Hull KR very close in this game, and it finished 34 points to 28, not without controversy, in favour of the Robins. It was 18-10 to Rovers, though, at half-time. Chris Kendall was the referee. This game finished too late for League Express to fit it in, so I don't have the attendance figure because I didn't bother looking anywhere else for it. Incomplete team stats because who did they decide not to put in on the website? I can't remember. One of the League players. The guy on loan from St Helens. I'll tell you in a second. Matty Foster. Wasn't involved, wasn't on the stats, but individually, Ben Crooks 153 metres, Kane Lynette, who's apparently got a new nickname, 1 try and 127 metres. Sean Kenny Dowell, 2 dads, 2 tries, 2 try assists, 103 metres and 2 clean breaks. And Mikey Lewis with a try assist, 115 metres and 3 clean breaks. For the Leigh side, Matty Russell plugged away, tried hard, 6 tackle busts, 196 metres, 2 clean breaks. He does so much of their early exit set work, doesn't he? James Bell with a try assist and 47 tackles. Stevie G's wife Alex got 41 tackles, 12 of which were marker tackles, and Junior Sal popped up with 2 tries and 117 metres. And we did get a couple of fan views.
Yep, so Matt Speakman, so close to Leigh getting their first win. They played really well and considered themselves unfortunate. A try wiped off late for an offside player being within 10 yards, when the winning try also had an offside player within 10 yards that wasn't checked. KR decided they wanted to play this match as they were favourites, and it almost backfired. No team has played the system as well as KR to get out of all the hard games.
And Tom Andrews said, well, that was very Hull KR performance. Probably what we needed after so many weeks off. Yes, it was against Leigh, but when you have a different spine, no goal kicker, you lose 2 players, you go down to 11 men, Big Derek has Kendall on the salary cap and still win. That's the sign of a good team. Looks like it will be another new half pairing on Friday. Nice to be above the Globetrotters too. Up the fucking Robins. Yeah. I think Mikey Lewis picked up an injury, didn't he? They ended up with... and maybe Rowan Mills did as well, because they ended up with Takarangi and Litton in the halves, but Litton started on the bench and Takarangi started on the wing. So, bit of a shift around there, and they overcame it, though. 2 Simbinins as well, so at one point they kind of overlapped each other, and that was when Leigh forced themselves back into it in the second half. I think Sidlow scored both his tries when Hull KR were down a man, and Junior Sal's second try was as well. So when it got all tied up, it was when Leigh had an extra man. But really, I'm just trying to count up the tries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 7 tries to 5. So that says Hull KR were the more dangerous side. I think other than Leigh's quick start, Hull KR had very much the best of the first half. Maybe the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of the first half they weren't at the best, but in between they looked threatening all the time. I know he's picked up a knock, it seems like, but young Mikey Lewis impresses me. I don't know if you've seen much of the young halfback, but he showed his running game in the try that he scored, and another nice try assist as well from a kick. Has been doing that this season quite a bit. I like the look of him. What do you think?
I only really watched the last sort of 25 minutes of this. I only put it on because I thought Lee were going to do Cass a favour in the playoff chase. It's one of those games. When was it played? Late Sunday, was it?
Yeah, Sunday evening, wasn't
I
it?
didn't realise it was on until I saw Tom whinging about it on Twitter, if I'm honest. But I mean, they've done well, haven't they, this season, OKR in general. In terms of the lead try that was disallowed at the end, he was within 10, so within the laws of the game, he's offside, but he wasn't interfering in any way, shape or form. But it was, once it's gone up to the ref, the video ref, it's all your interpretations taken out of it, isn't it? It was offside. I didn't realise that.
I think the difficulty with that rule as well is, like, it's so clear cut usually on replay that, and so consistently awarded that way, that if we took it out, it'd probably cause as many problems as it might avoid, because you start talking about, what impact did the player have on the play? Maybe, could a player run up really close and then step back a yard and stuff like that? And how easy is that going to be to pick and call?
When it's a kick from so close to the line, every player is going to be within 10 yards.
Well, on that instance as well, it was the dummy half, weren't it? So he didn't take that extra little bit of effort to step back before chasing.
Yeah, before he kicked it, yeah. I think the rule was brought in place to stop when you've put like a bomb up 40 yards to stop someone that's offside running at the fullback catching it and putting him off. Thinking he's going to get cleaned out. But it does count for little dink throughs. You can get pulled for it. But I mean, you can't complain about it. It was the right decision, and I don't really like Lee anyway. I think they're a shithouse club. So even though it didn't do us a favour in the table, I'm glad they lost.
I didn't spot the one that went the other way. I didn't see anything. I think there was a lot of other things to look at in that last try, though. Kane Lynette came very, very close to that being a knock-on his pickup. It seemed like there was... At first, it seemed obvious that he'd caught it before it hit the floor, but then there was that one replay that looked like maybe he was still controlling it as it hit the floor, but all the others suggested otherwise. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised that came through as a try in the end on that one. But I guess live call carries huge weight.
Well, it does, yeah. And other than that, we've had a reasonably normal week, haven't we, for video rest? We haven't had any major ones which everyone disagrees with, like we have done for the last few weeks.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And really, the fact that Lee scored all the tries when Rovers were down, kind of. And they were tries that probably would be preventable if you had that extra man. They were barge overs from close range. I think that kind of underlines that there was a difference between the sides, and Hull KR were the better side overall and just about deserved the win that they just about got.
Yeah, I agree.
Sidlow was good though for Lee. He keeps impressing me. I think he could still do a job. I've said this when he was at Toronto. Even he could still do a job at a proper club higher up the table. Or if Lee managed to actually make a string of signings that turn them into a Super League club, he wouldn't look out of place then either. It seems a shame that they've maybe signed two forwards from the NRL. That it looks like. I don't know if that'll have an impact on people like Sidlow and Ione, who've been really good for Lee this year in what has been a side that really its main issues has been the complete lack of consistency in any of the other positions in terms of performance and who they could put out on the pitch. Because again, in this game, it was a different halves combination, wasn't it? Who even started in the halves for them? Craig Mullen started in the halves for them with Brand at fullback. It just seems so mixed up, really, for Lee, and we keep saying that every week. I don't see it getting any better really either. But yeah,
they're going to win one before the end of the season. I just hope it's not against us.
Yeah, Well, there's a couple
Still
more
got
short
Wakey to play,
turnarounds
haven't
coming
they?
around, isn't there? So there's opportunities there, isn't there, as well?